event was presaged. My western voyage had for the time being been cancelled. I was scheduled for several public addresses in Bombay before leaving on a return visit to Bengal. Sitting on my bed in the Bombay hotel at 3 o'clock in the afternoon of June 19th, 1936, 1 week after the vision of Krishna, I was roused from my meditation by a beatific light. Before my open and astonished eyes, the whole room was transformed into a strange world, the sunlight transmuted into supernal splendor. Waves of rapture engulfed me as I beheld the flesh and blood form of Sri Yukteswar. "My son," Master spoke tenderly, on his voice an angel bewitching smile. For the first time in my life, I did not kneel at his feet in greeting, but instantly advanced to gather him hungrily in my arms. Moment of moments. The anguish of past months was toll I counted weightless against the torrential bliss now descending. Master mine, beloved of my heart, why did you leave me? I was incoherent in an excess of joy. Why did you let me go to the Kumbh Mela? How bitterly I have blamed myself for leaving you. I did not want to interfere with your happy anticipation of seeing the pilgrimage spot where I first met Babaji. I left you only for a little while. Am I not with you again? But is it you, Master, the same Lion of God? Are you wearing a body like the one I buried beneath the cruel Puri sands? Yes, my child, I am the same. This is a flesh and blood body. Though I see it as ethereal, to your sight it is physical. From the cosmic atoms I created an entirely new body, exactly like that cosmic dream physical body which you laid beneath the dream sands at Puri in your dream world. I am in truth resurrected, not on earth, but on an astral planet. Its inhabitants are better able than earthly humanity to meet my lofty standards. There you and your exalted loved ones shall some day come to be with me. Deathless Guru, tell me more. Master gave a quick, mirthful chuckle. Please, dear one, he said, won't you relax your hold a little? Only a little. I had been embracing him with an octopus grip. I could detect the same faint, fragrant, natural odor which had been characteristic of his body before. The thrilling touch of his divine flesh still persists around the inner sides of my arms and in my palms whenever I recall those glorious hours. As prophets are sent on earth to help men work out their physical karma, so I have been directed by God to serve on an astral planet as a savior, Sir Yukteswar explained. It is called Hiranyaloka, or illumined astral planet. There I am aiding advanced beings to rid themselves of astral karma and thus attain liberation from astral rebirths. The dwellers on Hiranyaloka are highly developed spiritually. All of them had acquired in their last earth incarnation the meditation-given power of consciously leaving their physical bodies at death. No one can enter Hiranyaloka unless he has passed on earth beyond the state of Sabikalpa Samadhi into the higher state of Nirvikalpa Samadhi. The Hiranyaloka inhabitants have already passed through the ordinary astral spheres, where nearly all beings from earth must go at death. There they worked out many seeds of their past actions in the astral worlds. None but advanced beings can perform such redemptive work effectually in the astral worlds. Thus, in order to free their souls more fully from the cocoon of karmic traces lodged in their astral bodies. These higher beings were drawn by cosmic law to be reborn with new astral bodies on Hiranyaloka, the astral sun, or heaven, where I have resurrected to help them. There are also highly advanced beings on Hiranyaloka who have come from the superior, subtler causal world. My mind was now in such perfect attunement with my gurus that he was conveying his word pictures to me partly by speech and partly by thought transference. I was thus quickly receiving his idea tabloids. You have read in the scriptures, Master went on, that God encased the human soul successively in three bodies, the idea or causal body, the subtle astral body, seat of man's mental and emotional natures, and the gross physical body. On earth, a man is equipped with his physical senses. An astral being works with his consciousness and feelings, and a body made of life-trons. A causal-bodied being remains in the blissful realm of ideas. My work is with those astral beings who are preparing to enter the causal world. Adorable Master, please tell me more about the astral cosmos. Though I had slightly relaxed my embrace at Sri Yukteswar's request, my arms were still around him. Treasure beyond all treasures, my guru who had laughed at death to reach me. There are many astral planets teeming with astral beings, Master began. The inhabitants use astral planes or masses of light to travel from one planet to another faster than electricity and radioactive energies. The astral universe, made of various subtle vibrations of light and color, is hundreds of times larger than the material cosmos. The entire physical creation hangs like a little solid basket under the huge luminous balloon of the astral sphere. Just as many physical suns and stars roam in space, so there are also countless astral, solar, and stellar systems. Their planets have astral suns and moons more beautiful than the physical ones. The astral luminaries resemble the aurora borealis, the sunny astral aurora being more dazzling than the mild-rayed moon aurora. The astral day and night are longer than those of earth. The astral world is infinitely beautiful, clean, pure, and orderly. There are no dead planets or barren lands. The terrestrial blemishes, weeds, bacteria, insects, snakes, are absent. Unlike the variable climates and seasons of the earth, the astral planets maintain the even temperature of an eternal spring, with occasional luminous white snow and rain of many-colored lights. Astral planets abound in opal lakes and bright seas and rainbow rivers. The ordinary astral universe, not the subtler astral heaven of Hiranyaloka, is peopled with millions of astral beings who have come more or less recently from the earth, and also with myriads of fairies, mermaids, fishes, animals, goblins, gnomes, demigods, and spirits, all residing on different astral planets in accordance with karmic qualifications. Various spheric mansions or vibratory regions are provided for good and evil spirits. Good ones can travel freely, but the evil spirits are confined to limited zones. In the same way that human beings live on the surface of the earth, worms inside the soil, fish in water, and birds in air, so astral beings of different grades are assigned to suitable vibratory quarters. Among the fallen dark angels expelled from other worlds, friction and war take place with life-tronic bombs or mental, mantric vibratory rays. These beings dwell in the gloom-drenched regions of the lower astral cosmos, working out their evil karma. In the vast realms above the dark astral prison, all is shining and beautiful. The astral cosmos is more naturally attuned than the earth to the divine will and plan of perfection. Every astral object is manifested primarily by the will of God, and partially by the will call of astral beings. They possess the power of modifying or enhancing the grace and form of anything already created by the Lord. He has given his astral children the freedom and privilege of changing or improving at will the astral cosmos. On earth, a solid must be transformed into liquid or other form through natural or chemical processes, but astral solids are changed into astral liquids, gases, or energy solely and instantly by the will of the inhabitants. The earth is dark with warfare and murder in the sea, land, and air, my Guru continued, but the astral realms know a happy harmony and equality. Astral beings dematerialize or materialize their forms at will. Flowers or fish or animals can metamorphose themselves for a time into astral men. All astral beings are free to assume any form and can easily commune together. No fixed, definite, natural law hems them round. Any astral tree, for example, can be successfully asked to produce an astral mango or other desired fruit, flower, or indeed any other object. Certain karmic restrictions are present, but there are no distinctions in the astral world about desirability of various forms. Everything is vibrant with God's creative light. No one is born of woman. Offspring are materialized by astral beings through the help of their cosmic will into specially patterned, astrally condensed forms. The recently physically embodied being arrives in an astral family through invitation, drawn by similar mental and spiritual tendencies. The astral body is not subject to cold or heat or other natural conditions. The anatomy includes an astral brain, or the thousand-petaled lotus of light, and 6 awakened centers in the Sushumna, or astral cerebrospinal axis. The heart draws cosmic energy as well as light from the astral brain and pumps it to the astral nerves and body cells, or lifetrons. Astral beings can affect their bodies by lifetronic force or by mantric vibrations. The astral body is an exact counterpart of the last physical form. Astral beings retain the same appearance which they possessed in youth in their previous earthly sojourn. Occasionally an astral being chooses, like myself, to retain his old age appearance. Master, emanating the very essence of youth, chuckled merrily. Unlike the spatial, three-dimensional physical world cognized only by the 5 senses, the astral spheres are visible to the all-inclusive 6th sense, intuition, Sri Yukteswar went on. By sheer intuitional feeling, all astral beings see, hear, smell, taste, and touch. They possess 3 eyes, 2 of which are partly closed. The third and chief astral eye, vertically placed on the forehead, is open. Astral beings have all the outer sensory organs, ears, eyes, nose, tongue, and skin, but they employ the intuitional sense to experience sensations through any part of the body. They can see through the ear or nose or skin. They are able to hear through the eyes or tongue, and can taste through the ears or skin, and so forth. Man's physical body is exposed to countless dangers, and is easily hurt or maimed. The ethereal astral body may occasionally be cut or bruised, but is healed at once by mere willing. Gurudeva, are all astral persons beautiful? Beauty in the astral world is known to be a spiritual quality, and not an outward conformation, Sri Yukteswar replied. Astral beings therefore attach little importance to facial features. They have the privilege, however, of costuming themselves at will with new, colorful, astrally materialized bodies. Just as worldly men don new array for gala events, so astral beings find occasions to bedeck themselves in specially designed forms. Joyous astral festivities on the higher astral planes, like Hiranyaloka, take place when a being is liberated from the astral world through spiritual advancement, and is therefore ready to enter the heaven of the causal world. On such occasions the invisible Heavenly Father and the saints who are merged in Him materialize themselves into bodies of their own choice and join the astral celebration. In order to please His beloved devotee, the Lord takes any desired form. If the devotee worshipped through devotion, he sees God as the Divine Mother. To Jesus, the Father aspect of the Infinite One was appealing beyond other conceptions. The individuality with which the Creator has endowed each of His creatures makes every conceivable and inconceivable demand on the Lord's versatility. My Guru and I laughed happily together. Friends of other lives easily recognize one another in the astral world, Sri Yukteswar went on in his beautiful flute-like voice. Rejoicing at the immortality of friendship, they realize the indestructibility of love, often doubted at the time of sad, delusive partings of earth life. The intuition of astral beings pierces through the veil and observes human activities on earth, but man cannot view the astral world unless his sixth sense is somewhat developed. Thousands of earth dwellers have momentarily glimpsed an astral being or an astral world. The advanced beings on Hiranyaloka remain mostly awake in ecstasy during the long astral day and night, helping to work out intricate problems of cosmic government and the redemption of prodigal sons, earth-bound souls. When the Hiranyaloka beings sleep, they have occasional dreamlike astral visions. Their minds are usually engrossed in the conscious state of highest nirvikalpa bliss. Inhabitants in all parts of the astral worlds are still subject to mental agonies. The sensitive minds of the higher beings on planets like Hiranyaloka feel keen pain if any mistake is made in conduct or perception of truth. These advanced beings endeavor to attune their every act and thought with the perfection of spiritual law. Communication among the astral inhabitants is held entirely by astral telepathy and television. There is none of the confusion and misunderstanding of the written and spoken word which earth dwellers must endure. Just as persons on the cinema screen appear to move and act through a series of light pictures and do not actually breathe, so the astral beings walk and work as intelligently guided and coordinated images of light, without the necessity of drawing power from oxygen. Man depends upon solids, liquids, gases, and energy for sustenance. Astral beings sustain themselves principally by cosmic light. Master mine, do astral beings eat anything? I was drinking in his marvelous elucidations with the receptivity of all my faculties, mind, heart, soul. Superconscious perceptions of truth are permanently real and changeless, while fleeting sense experiences and impressions are never more than temporarily or relatively true, and soon lose in memory all their vividness. My Guru's words were so penetratingly imprinted on the parchment of my being that at any time, by transferring my mind to the superconscious state, I can clearly relive the divine experience. Luminous ray-like vegetables abound in the astral soils, he answered. The astral beings consume vegetables and drink a nectar flowing from glorious fountains of light and from astral brooks and rivers. Just as invisible images of persons on the earth can be dug out of the ether and made visible by a television apparatus, later being dismissed again into space, so the God-created, unseen astral blueprints of vegetables and plants floating in the ether are precipitated on an astral planet by the will of its inhabitants. In the same way, from the wildest fancy of these beings, whole gardens of fragrant flowers are materialized, returning later to the etheric invisibility. Although dwellers on the heavenly planets like Hiranyaloka are almost freed from any necessity of eating, still higher is the unconditioned existence of almost completely liberated souls in the causal world, who eat nothing save the manna of bliss. The earth-liberated astral being meets a multitude of relatives, fathers, mothers, wives, husbands, and friends, acquired during different incarnations on earth, as they appear from time to time in various parts of the astral realms. He is therefore at a loss to understand whom to love especially. He learns in this way to give a divine and equal love to all, as children and individualized expressions of God. Though the outward appearance of loved ones may have changed, more or less according to the development of new qualities in the latest life of any particular soul, the astral being employs his unerring intuition to recognize all those once dear to him in other planes of existence, and to welcome them to their new astral home. Because every atom in creation is inextinguishably dowered with individuality, an astral friend will be recognized no matter what costume he may don, even as on earth an actor's identity is discoverable by close observation, despite any disguise. The span of life in the astral world is much longer than on earth. A normal advanced astral being's average life period is from 500 to 1,000 years, measured in accordance with earthly standards of time. As certain redwood trees outlive most trees by millenniums, or as some yogis live several hundred years, though most men die before the age of 60, so some astral beings live much longer than the usual span of astral existence. Visitors to the astral world dwell there for a longer or shorter period in accordance with the weight of their physical karma, which draws them back to earth within a specified time. The astral being does not have to contend painfully with death at the time of shedding his luminous body. Many of these beings nevertheless feel slightly nervous at the thought of dropping their astral form for the subtler causal one. The astral world is free from unwilling death, disease, and old age. These three dreads are the curse of earth, where man has allowed his consciousness to identify itself almost wholly with a frail physical body requiring constant aid from air, food, and sleep in order to exist at all. Physical death is attended by the disappearance of breath and the disintegration of fleshly cells. Astral death consists of the disbursement of lifetrons, those manifest units of energy which constitute the life of astral beings. At physical death, a being loses his consciousness of flesh and becomes aware of his subtle body in the astral world. Experiencing astral death in due time, a being thus passes from the consciousness of astral birth and death to that of physical birth and death. These recurrent cycles of astral and physical encasement are the ineluctable destiny of all unenlightened beings. Scriptural definitions of heaven and hell sometimes stir man's deeper than subconscious memories of his long series of experiences in the blithesome astral and disappointing terrestrial worlds. Beloved Master, I asked, will you please describe more in detail the difference between rebirth on the earth and in the astral and causal spheres? Man, as an individualized soul, is essentially causal-bodied, my Guru explained. That body is a matrix of the 35 ideas required by God as the basic or causal thought forces, from which he later formed the subtle astral body of 19 elements and the gross physical body of 16 elements. The 19 elements of the astral body are mental, emotional, and lifetronic. The 19 components are intelligence, ego, feeling, mind, sense consciousness, 5 instruments of knowledge, the subtle counterparts of the senses of sight, hearing, smell, taste, touch, 5 instruments of action, the mental correspondence for the executive abilities to procreate, excrete, talk, walk, and exercise manual skill, and the 5 instruments of life force, those empowered to perform the crystallizing, assimilating, eliminating, metabolizing, and circulating functions of the body. This subtle astral encasement of 19 elements survives the death of the physical body, which is made of 16 gross metallic and non-metallic elements. God thought out different ideas within himself and projected them into dreams. Lady Cosmic Dream thus sprang out, decorated in all her colossal, endless ornaments of relativity. In 35 thought categories of the causal body, God elaborated all the complexities of man's 19 astral and 16 physical counterparts. By condensation of vibratory forces, first subtle, then gross, he produced man's astral body and, finally, his physical form. According to the law of relativity, by which the prime simplicity has become the bewildering manifold, the causal cosmos and causal body are different from the astral cosmos and astral body. The physical cosmos and physical body are likewise characteristically at variance with the other forms of creation. The fleshly body is made of the fixed, objectified dreams of the Creator. The dualities are ever present on earth. Disease and health, pain and pleasure, loss and gain. Human beings find limitation and resistance in three-dimensional matter. When man's desire to live is severely shaken by disease or other causes, death arrives. The heavy overcoat of the flesh is temporarily shed. The soul, however, remains encased in the astral and causal bodies. The adhesive force by which all three bodies are held together is desire. The power of unfulfilled desires is the root of all man's slavery.
Let's stop.
Physical desires are rooted in egotism and sense pleasures. The
So let's remember where we stopped. There's so much to discuss. This we discovered today, and so much to discuss. Let us start here. Okay. So we are in page number 400. So where he is saying that he has the same body. I mean, when Master is touching him, holding him, he feels the flesh, and he says, I'm having the same flesh and blood body. And I say, see it as ethereal. So he's just used the cosmic atoms and created it. Here he says that I created an entirely new body, exactly like that cosmic dream physical body, which you laid between. So, each one of us, when in the night when we dreaming, we create an entire, there is this me somewhere here, which I know that this one is me. And then we would see our friends and our family members, or anything else. Then there are houses, there is all that vistas, everything we have created. Like from where? From our consciousness. That's why Master said, no, we are made in the image of God. The scriptures say that. So in our dream state, we are able to create. So that is why he keeps saying that, you buried my dream body. This is a dream of the soul. The soul is like, imagine that the soul is a dream of God, and that dream is dreaming this existence. So, and when we dream in the night, so it's the dream. In that dream, we create everything. And it feels like they're all real, that, when I go and hug somebody, I feel that person's existence. Or if somebody were to shoot me and I fall down, I feel the pain. Everything we feel, at that moment, we are living that life. This doesn't seem to exist, that we are right now. Doesn't seem to even, we don't even remember we are existing there. We are existing in that real, and everything seems real. The pain, I go and in my dream, I go and bang my head against something, I feel that pain. So it is that real as long as we are in there, right? Similarly, but once I get up, I realize, that was just a dream. Nobody killed me. And similarly, when we awake, we will awake in God. We will realize that all these lifetimes that we have lived were all just dream stories that we have woven in that consciousness, right? So that's what he says. And he says that, I am in truth resurrected, not on earth. So he has taken on a body, like the last one that he had lived, not on earth, but on an astral planet. Its inhabitants are better able than earthly humanity to meet my lofty standards. Yukteswar was always very particular, right? And Master said that it was very difficult. I mean, every tooth of my ego, he blasted and took it off. It was a very difficult way, but then Master withstood it and went on to become self-realized, became a Paramhansa. And he says, there you and your exalted loved ones shall someday come to be with me. So what does it take to be exalted loved ones? That, we work at getting free in this lifetime itself, following what the Guru has given us, and doing the techniques, meditating, and trying to be free, liberated. Okay, so now here we come. He says, as prophets on earth are sent on earth to help man work out their physical karma, so I have been directed. What they are doing is what the divine tells them to do, right? When he's saying prophets, the avatar, right? So all these, our gurus who have come on this planet, they are completely free. Now we will discuss about, we thought Nirvikalp Samadhi means you are free. And here he says that, it is called Hiranya Loka. There I am aiding advanced beings to rid of themselves of astral karma, and thus attaining liberation from astral rebirths. The dwellers of Hiranya Loka are highly developed. So here he says, the meditation given power of consciously leaving their physical bodies at death. No one can enter Hiranya Loka. What is the ticket as Dr. Shivani, Nayaswami Shivani said, the ticket to Hiranya Loka is Nirvikalp Samadhi. In the footnote, it says that, in Savikalp Samadhi, the devotee has spiritually progressed to a state of inward divine union, but cannot maintain his cosmic consciousness except in the immobile trance states. So a little bit on that. So as I said, a meditating yogi first achieves Savikalp Samadhi, where, it's like opening a window and he realizes, oh, I am that. But he's not able to maintain that state. So, he comes back, that thing goes back and he's back to normal. And Master said that sometimes saints can even fall from the Savikalp Samadhi state, because, the kind of the ego is still not completely gone. So some of them that come back and say, oh, I am that, I have realized that, I have achieved that. And in that state, they can fall because the ego is not completely gone. So, and Nirvikalp Samadhis, they have gone beyond that, and they are at one with the cosmic consciousness. So it's like, the ego is completely gone. They have dropped that ego and are free from that, right? So here, but as Sri Yukteswar now says, that we always thought that, okay, Nirvikalp Samadhi is, mukti, Jivan Mukta. They have become Jivan Mukta so that they don't have to come back to this planet, to earth, to work out their karma. So because there is no ego. So how does it work? The ego is, Master said, is a pole on which all these karmas and desires and tendencies are like, attached there. So, and what are these karmas and how do they get attached? When we say these are all vortices of energy, as Patanjali also said that, yoga's chitta vritti nirod. So all that desires, the likes and dislikes of the heart, the desires and tendencies, they are all like this energy spots all over the pole of the subconscious mind of that person. So, and they are all whirling like whirlpools. So these are all energy, and based on how big that karma is, or that desire is, that likes is, it is much that big a whirlpool. So, but when the person has become Nirvikalp, he has got Nirvikalp Samadhi, there is no ego, there's no pole to attach those energy bodies to. So that is dropped. But the energy body themselves, the energies themselves are not yet dissolved. That's what he's saying. So, but they don't have to come back. For the rest of us, for a normal person, again, let me just try to clarify this. So we have done this before, that, at the time of birth, at the time of conception, the energy enters the prana, right? When we are saying energy or the life trance, as Master said, prana enters this thing at the time of conception from the medulla, goes up, animates the brain, and then animates the astral spine, in which all the chakras are there, and all our tendencies, our karmas, our desires, these are all like magnets, the energies that are whirling, and gets locked at the base of the spine as kundalini. And throughout their life, the energy keeps coming in, right? And we are functioning. We use that energy to function in this world. And for a normal human being, it exits through the medulla. And we will later, we will talk about, visitors and inhabitants of astral world. So most of us are visitors. So when this exits from the medulla, they go and inhabit the ordinary, as he said, ordinary astral realm, based on our karma and desires and what kind of life we have lived. So evil souls, and as they say that heaven and hell, so evil will have, they are like, it's like jails, right? Astral jails. So they cannot escape that particular astral island kind of a thing that is created for them. They only go there. So it is not like an evil person. We say that they, at the time of death, moksha gati ko prapt ho. They don't get moksha gati just because you dropped your body. Master said they just drop the physical body. Everything else remains the same. You just move. You just drop this physical. It's like a garment. You just drop the garment. You don't suddenly become a saint by just dropping the body. So you still have to work it all out in a different this thing. So if it is the evil soul, then they go into that evil, where the jail like confinement, they can't move around. And the rest of us will go to a higher than that, the evil, where the evils live. But not really, most of the ordinary astral beings, they are asleep, they are not even conscious, they just go and rest, or they're just sleeping till again the desires and all those karmas pull them back, and they come and take a birth again in the planet to work out their the rest of the karmas and the prarabdha karma and all, as we call. So they are not really, when he's talking about those beautiful astral world and all, most the disembodied souls don't even realize that, they don't even see it. It needs much more awareness, sensitivity, or somebody who has worked at their spiritual growth are the ones who are able to experience what the astral world really is all about, right? So here he says, he says, who are the ones, and Hiranyaloka, most the visitors and most of the other even the souls who have been working on the spiritual journey do not enter Hiranyalok. It's an exalted state, VIP, astral world, where only those who have achieved Nirvikalp Samadhi, so they don't have to come back to this planet, but have those karmas and all those astral, the energies, that the seeds that are still there and lodged, that they have to work out, are the ones who go to the Hiranyalok. Now he says here, the Hiranya inhabitants have already passed through the ordinary astral spheres. So they don't have to go to the ordinary astral spheres where most go, where nearly all beings from earth must go at death. There they worked out many seeds of their past actions in the astral worlds. They have already surpassed that. None but advanced beings can perform such redemptive work effectually in the astral worlds. So that is what it is, that there is this very nice story that Master used to say, that there was this saint who had achieved such a high spiritual achievements, we can say. It's not an achievement, what he had attained. So an astral being comes, and Deva, in his chariot, and he says that you have done so much, and you are so I have come to take you in this body itself. Not many have that, not everybody can go into the astral world with their body that they are in, physical body. But he said that you have done so much and attained so much, so I have come to take you along in this body itself to come to the astral world. So the saint says, okay, that's very nice of you, but tell me, what is the catch? He says, first he says, okay, what do I get there? He says, as Sri Yukteswar had described, the astral world is like this and like that. Then he says, okay, but what is the catch? He says, that's very strange. Nobody before you has asked me such a question, but since you have asked me, I will tell you that there you won't be able to work out your leftover karma. He says, then the saint says, thank you very much for offering this ride there, but I don't think I want to come there. He says, you're a very strange man. I mean, everybody I would take, would be glad, very gleefully come up there for years together, hundreds and thousands of years. You can just enjoy being in that beautiful space. He says, yeah, but then at the end of that 500 or 1,000 years or 5,000 years, I still have to come back, right, to work out my karma. He says, yeah, that's right. He says, then why should I even come? Why waste that many time? I might as well stay back here and finish off everything, and finally I would like to come. So that is the main thing for all of us who haven't yet, achieved the state of being in Hiranyaloka. Now, there is no scope of working out all those karmas and desires in the astral realm. It is here only that we can advance faster by making efforts, doing the techniques that our guru tells us. So So it's not like, it is a place where Krishna says that it is my ocean of suffering, but it is also a place where we can work out and make efforts to be liberated, to be free. Earth gives us that that opportunity to be free, right? So this is where he says that most people, souls, don't get that opportunity unless they are very highly advanced, like the ones who are in Nirvikalpa Samadhi. So he says that in order to free their souls more fully from the cocoon of karmic traces lost their astral body, these higher beings are drawn by cosmic law to be reborn in the new astral bodies of Hiranyaloka. So, acha, okay, now he says that Master said that God encased the human soul successively in three bodies. Again, all of us, as I said, we all have three bodies. One is the causal bodies. God, there's the ideation body. So this whole world, so there is one cosmic world, this whole world, and then there is individual souls. So as the scriptures say, and Master has described that God, the spirit, is this vibrationless consciousness. And then God, this thought of enjoying himself, expressing himself through many, right? So there is this subtle thought, that is the ideation, that the idea of let me create, that idea also has this subtle vibration that created the causal world, right? And then, the more they started vibrating, only a part, the rest of it is still the vibrationless spirit. A part of his consciousness he vibrated, which means he gave energy to it. And in that moment, there's a duality, right? Going up and down, up and down, up and down. And in that, the most grossest part of that vibration is it manifests as physical world. So there is this causal world, there is the astral world, and there is a physical world, which, as Sri Yukteswar describes, it's like astral world is like this hot air balloon, and physical world hangs through that, like that basket, that little basket that hangs from this thing. And the most grossest vibration is the physical world. And in that, individual souls, all of us are also in that. It's a similar thing. So each one of us, first we are an idea of God. So there's a causal body, there's a cause for this existence. Then, the more the vibration of the body, the energy, it's the astral body that we are carrying around. And then the physical body, which is this gross body that it seems like. Just so this is how the bodies are created, the cosmic cosmos, the cosmic world, and the creation itself, and the individuals, how the souls are made. So here he's saying that is what he has described here. On earth, a man is equipped with his physical senses. How do we operate in this world? Through our five senses, right? And also we make use of our energy. So in our physical form, we are still making use of the energy that is part of our astral body, the idea, the intuition, but we are hardly aware of it. Most man is living more on the sensory level, right? And but the astral beings, as he said, an astral being works with his consciousness and feelings, and the body made of life trons. The causal body being remains in the blissful realm of ideas. So he says, my work is with those astral beings who are preparing to enter the causal world. Now, understand, Sri Yukteswar is completely free. He doesn't have to work out anything. He's an avatar. So he came an avatar actually, right? He just came because he had a certain role to play for this world, planet's existence and evolution. So he came to play that, and now he's back, and he's completely, there is no even causal karma that remains. So he has been directed by God to go help these Hiranyaloka inhabitants to move to the causal realm. Who are the, so what are the astral karma that we can think of? So as I mentioned that, everything that the Nirvik, they have Nirvikalp Samadhi, they have removed the reason that there is no ego. But then those energies are still remaining, of which they need to work out of what they have done in the past lives, right? That they have to work out, because you have want to become free, you have to remove everything. So, and also, even a desire, what can be another astral desire to for harmony, even that, uh, the desire, astral desire, that is an astral desire, because on this planet, even to want complete harmony, where everybody is living in harmony with this world, all creatures are living in harmony, it's not possible. Earth is a planet which is rajasic, and which is, there is duality. This is part the physical world, as later on we have just read. There is duality. So there is disease, there is health, there is morning, there is evening, there is happiness, there is sadness. So there are good people, there will be bad people. This is the law of the physical world. This is how it is made. So even thinking, everything will be harmony, I have that desire that all creatures should live in harmony. It is a good desire, but still, it has a energy pattern to it. I still need to work it out. Or I think of beauty. I mean, Swamiji, what he created, Ananda village, is like, what he must have experienced in the astral world. That beauty, that ethereal looking place is what everybody living in harmony and beautiful music, which he says that I drew it, master gave it to me. So even the desire for beauty, for painting beautiful, you look at a beautiful this thing, you'll say, oh my goodness, what beauty is this? The world is so beautiful. And master said that, this physical world, the beauty that you see around us is pale image of what beauty would be in the astral world, because everything is light. So, everything is multiplied multitudes, hundreds and thousands of times. So the colors that we see is more vivid in the astral world, because it is all made of light. So, the beauty, that the scenery that we see is multiplied. So, somebody who enjoys that kind of beauty, again, it's a good thing. That beautiful music, the Carnatic music, or that kind of nice astral music, you can say, somebody who enjoys, it's still a desire which you need to work out. Even though you are in a nirvikal samadhi, you still carry it. So in that is why he says that, the astral beings, then, if they had a desire to have a family which is beautiful and everybody is in harmony, they attract. And in this lifetime, we attract people to us through, what karmic relationship we have with each of them. With some we have some good karma, they have to give back, or I have to give back. Or with some we have a bad thing, but we still have to work it out. So it is not necessarily we have the same wavelength, even in a same family. We are not on the same, vibrationally not in the same wavelength. They are all different karmic. We are attracted through those. Whereas in astral, the ones, even the family that they attract to themselves are vibrating at the same level as you. So everybody is thinking alike. Everybody is, their tastes, the things that they enjoy is because, they are all vibrationally same. And that is why master said, even in this lifetime, you pray that you attract people who are, on the same vibration as me. Sometimes we feel that we might not connect so much with a family member, but we find some friend who we think, oh my God, why isn't she part of my family? Because there's so much we are vibrationally same. So that's like, the souls who are on the same vibrations together. But the family can be because I have to work out certain things. So this is what it is. So here he says, there are many astral planets teeming with astral beings. The inhabitants use astral planes or masses of light to travel from one planet to another. Faster, this is like, the ski movies that we see. Okay, here Master in the footnote says that atoms and electrons are blind forces. Prana is inherently intelligent. The pranic lifetrons in the spermatozoa and ova, for instance, guide the embryonic development according to the karmic design. Okay, hence in healing and all, that's what we say, no? We say prana. So when we pray for somebody, we don't even know. Sometimes we are given, pray for so and so. We have never seen that person, but we pray for him, and we know that the prana knows what is needed for that person's healing, which can be, not necessarily what I want, but what he needs for his soul's evolution. Prana is intelligent. Okay. So as I already mentioned, the entire next page, 402, entire physical creation hangs like a little solid. 835, we hardly touched anything. Okay. Again, the astral world is infinitely beautiful, clean, pure, orderly. We can't even imagine that. We can only aspire for that. But then, you see now that even that creates astral desires in us. The ordinary astral universe, not the subtler astral heaven of Hiranyaloka, is peopled with millions of astral beings who have come more or less recently from the earth. And imagine, even, when we say that Walt Disney created all these fairies and gnomes and demigods and the spirits, he probably drew something from what he had experienced in the astral world. Now we thought that it is all a figment of his imagination, but he says this is all there. It is really there. The goblins and gnomes and demigods all residing on different astral planets according to their karmic qualification. As we have already gone through where the dark ones the go in the vast realms above the dark astral prison, all is shining and beautiful. The astral cosmos is more naturally attuned than the earth to the divine will and plan of perfection. That is why, even if we want with the desire for perfection, we will be able to, is still a desire. So, you need to fulfill that. Every astral object is manifested primarily by the will of God and partially by the will call of astral being. So, and, God in that realm, that to the astral being, allows him to create what he wants within that whole realm that he has given. They possess the power of modifying or enhancing the grace and form of anything already created by Lord. He has given his astral children the freedom and privilege of changing or improving at will. Now, in the astral world, what has he given? How can you make changes? Through will. Now you understand why Master gave us these energization exercises. What is the axiom he gave? Greater the will, greater the flow of energy. The more we want to be free of this physical body, of this consciousness that we are only this physical body, the more you exhibit, you work with your will, the more you are in tune with your astral body, right? That is where we want to slowly go back and then go back to the causal body. So the more, that's why he's saying on earth, the solid must be transformed into liquid, other forms of natural or chemical process, like water, you have to heat it or you have to freeze it. But astral solids are changed into astral liquids of gases and energy solely and instantly by the will of the inhabitants. So more we consciously work with our willpower, greater the will, greater the flow of energy is an axiom in every aspect of our life. The more we are living in our, conscious of the astral body and not so much on the physical plane. Again, he says, and astral, as he says, that, God allows. So if I go, I see, oh, the cloud is all white, let me make it all purple. I can do it. I just have to, change the color and the lights. It just changes. The astral beings have the freedom to do it just by willing it, right? Okay. Astral realms know a happy harmony and equality. Astral beings dematerialize and materialize their forms at will. Okay, it seems like Alice in Wonderland. No fixed, defined, definite natural law hems them round. And so in astral tree, there is a tree. I can ask for a mango, it will give me mango. I can ask for an apple, the same tree will give me an apple. So, an astral mango or other desired fruit, it can produce anything that I want. Again, it seems like a figment of imagination, but just by willing it, it happens in the astral world. Everything is vibrant with God's creative light. And no one is born of a woman, as it is written, that, the recently physically disembodied being arrives in an astral family through invitation. drawn by similar mental and spiritual tendencies. So not so much, we don't have that advantage when we have a physical family. Not necessarily they are on the same mental or spiritual level vibration as us, but there we can invite, we can create. When if somebody has said, oh my god, even they had nirvikalp samadhi, but there was this small somewhere that if only I had a. That is why Sri Yukteswar, that last, just before leaving the body, he said, I wanted a son to whom I can transfer all this spiritual knowledge. There was still that desire, right? So God allowed him to finish that, even that, by sending Yogananda to him, who was the spiritual son, not really, who he got through his the physical body, but somebody much more important than just a physical son, who received so much from him on the spiritual level. Okay, little bit more. I think we'll have to finish even the parts that we have read next time only, I think. Okay, the astral body is not subjected to cold, that we know. It's just energy body. The anatomy includes the astral brain, and which is the 1,000 petal rotors, which is the Sahasrara chakra, right? And the 6 awakened chakras are in the Sushumna. Sushumna is this deep spine. And then, as we have discussed this, the superficial nerve, the nadis are the Ida and Pigla that cross the Sushumna at the chakras. And this is Agya chakra, the Vishuddha, Anahat, the heart, the Manipura, the behind the navel, the Swadhisthana below that, and then the Muladhar, which is at the base of the spine. The heart draws cosmic energy as well as light from the astral brain. That's constantly and pulping it in the astral nerves. The nadis is what they say, right? And body cells or lifetrons. Astral beings can affect their bodies by lifetronic forces or by mantric vibrations, mantras. That's, we know that all mantras are basically sound vibrations. That is why they say that it's very important to pronounce them right and to say it in that right tone also. So you can't be like, having a high pitch or low pitch. They are said in a particular way. That is when that vibration is created for that mantra to be effective. And lifetronic forces, using lifetrons. What do we know? We know energization exercises. Master has given us the most, precious thing for us to make those changes. Even by being in this physical body, we can still work like an astral being. We can affect, we can change our astral body through the lifetronic force by using energization exercises. Astral body is an exact counterpart of the last physical form. As he said, that most people will carry the youth form of that, but he says, I have retained my old form only. Okay, and unlike the spatial, the three-dimensional physical world, cognized only by 5 senses, astral spheres are visible to the all-inclusive 6th sense, which is intuition. And what has Master given us to develop the 6th sense, the intuition, is the meditation techniques that we all do, Hongsa technique, the Kriya itself. And he says that, just this page I'll finish today, and then we can, the next one we start with finishing that and then further read. Yeah, and he says that by sheer intuitional feeling, all astral beings see, hear, taste, smell. Where does it have? The third and the chief astral eye, vertically placed on the forehead, is open, like how we see in the images of Shiva, Parvati, all are Hindu gods that they always make with these eyes, either closed or, open. When they say that if Shiva opens it, then there will be pralaya, right? Master would always, when he would cook and all, Swamiji said that, when we cook before offering to God, you don't taste it and all, no? So Swamiji said that Master, when he used to love cooking for his devotees, and also he would cook big things and he would taste through the spiritual eye. And Master used to tell us, has advised all of us to practice that, that when you can try to taste it with your spiritual eye, try to, that is how we develop our intuitive ability. The more it's like a muscle too. The more we practice, we will be able to develop it more. So, try that, we will get to it. Initially, of course, we will make mistakes, but sometimes we do know that, probably I have not put salt in this. It does look different, feel different. So let us try doing that by intuitively tuning into certain thing and trying to understand it from what is being said. Suppose we are talking to somebody, most of the time what they are saying is not necessarily what they are actually feeling. Go beyond it and try to actually listen rather than just hear with our ears. Listening is through the intuition, where we go beyond the words and actually come to what they are actually feeling, what they are saying, what they're actually mean behind those words. So the more we live through our intuition, the more we are, in tune with who we really are, and we relate to that person with who. And that's why Master always said that, when you are you want to know something, go to the heart of it, go to the core of it. That is how you will know a person or a thing or a situation, is where when you go to the center, pierce through the center rather than just being on the periphery. Nothing is what it seems like. Nobody is how they seem like. Go to the center of it, and how that is how. And how can we go to the center? By tuning it through our intuition, the intuition. The seat of intuition is this. The seat of willpower is the spiritual eye. The more we work with this, the more we are working with, going in the astral body rather than just living on the periphery through our senses, which can fool us. What looks like need not necessarily be what it is. The eyes can fool us, but the all-knowing, all-perceptive, intuitive, spiritual eye knows it all, everything. So with this, I pause here. And then there's so much to discuss, my goodness. Before we even read next time, I don't think we will even be reading. We will be finishing off what we read today. There's a lot, there's a lot to discuss. So with that, hopefully I have covered a little bit, uncovered a little bit of what Master has actually wanted to tell us. So with that, see you all next week.
Thank you. Thank you.